Hello viewers and welcome to the lesson. This is section B of the KJSEA Mathematics paper. I have already uploaded section 1. You can check it in the uploads. It is there. So we're just completing now the whole paper. This section has 30 marks. Let's go to question 21. So in question 21, you're supposed to write the following expressions in logarithmic notation. That is 10 to the power 4 is equals to 10,000. So the basic things that you're supposed to understand. This one is in index notation. Now you're supposed to write it in logarithmic notation. Now this is what is going to assist you. Given this expression, a to power n is equals to m, that being the index notation, when you're writing this, if you're required to write this one in logarithmic notation, you simply get the log of the base will be a, and then m will be the number that you're getting or the result, and this one will give the index is the logarithm. The index is the logarithm, so it will be n. So whereby a is the base, and then we have m. You can see where we have m. M is the result that you get, or the answer that you get when you get the logarithm of that. And then n is the logarithm or the index, that is the index. Now applying these to whatever we have there, looking at 10, the base is 10, the base is 10, and then the index is 4, and then the solution or the answer that you get, the answer is 10,000. So now applying these, whatever we have already written here, we are going to have this one as logarithm of so you have the base first. The base comes here, so the base is 10, okay, and then m, look at m is the result. The result is 10,000. 10,000 is equivalent to the index, is the one that we find there. So that one gives 4. So now this is the logarithmic notation. We go to the next question. The next question is question 22. So we go to question 22. So for question 22, this is a question on fractions. It has a mixture of operations. So you need to understand the law of BODMAS. So a half of 3 and a third multiplied by 2 over 5 plus 4 and 3 over 4 divided by a quarter. So the application of the rule of BODMAS is very vital here for you to answer the question. So BODMAS supposed to start with whatever is in the bracket. So solve whatever is in the bracket first. So 3 and a third, that is 10 divided by 3. Then multiply by 2/5. So you work out the brackets first, whatever is in the bracket, and this will give by 5 1, by 5 2. So this will give 4 thirds. So that is what you get. Now you rewrite now everything. So you have now a half of whatever is in the bracket. You solve that and you got 4 thirds. Then plus, you can convert 4 3/4 to improper fraction. This will be 16. This will be 19 divided by 4. Then divided by a quarter. So we shall proceed as we reduce with this operation. Now we acted on the brackets. Now the next one to follow, we have this off. So we work out with this one. So let us work out that. I just put the brackets so that you can see how you're supposed to proceed following this law. So we work out a half of this multiplication, 3, like that. So this by 2, 1 by 2, 2. So this one gives 2 thirds. So now you have 2 thirds. For a half of 4 thirds, you have 2 thirds plus 19 divided by 4 divided by a quarter. Now we are reducing the operation. We are remaining now with addition and division. So which one should come first? Division should come first. So you have this now. You have that. So work out that. And this one will give 19 divided by 4 multiplied by 4 divided by 1. You know how to divide these, the reciprocal of 1 over 4. So this gives 19. So that one gives 19. And now you have now 2/3 plus 19. And this one simplifies to 19 and 2/3 are the solution. So that is how you're supposed to work out question 22. We go to question 23. You go to question 23. Question 23. 4 men can paint a wall in 8 days. How long will it take 8 men to paint the same wall working at the same rate? 4 men can paint a wall in 8 days. How long will it take 8 men to paint the same wall while working at the same rate? Now, when you look at the men are increasing from 4 to 8. So since the men are increasing, so that means what? That they are going to take less days. So the number of days are going to reduce by the ratio of the men. So because the men are increasing, if 4 men can paint this wall in 8 days, if you add more men, that means the number of days are going to increase because the number has increased, so the workload is going to reduce. So the number of days will reduce in the ratio 4:8. So now when you're getting the solution, you take 4 divided by 8 multiply by 8 days, because the number of days are going to reduce. So by 8 1 by 8 1. So this one takes 4 days. So that is what you're supposed to get for that part. So 4 days is the time taken by 8 men. We proceed to the next question. We go to the next question now in question 24. Question 24. So for question 24, this one, let me zoom a little bit. A rectangular garden has its length as 2x plus 4 meters and width as x minus 2 meters. If the perimeter of the garden is less than 40 meters, part A, form a linear inequality to represent this information. So we have a rectangular garden, the length is given and the width is given. So if the perimeter of this garden is less than 40, first we need to get the perimeter. How do you get the perimeter of a rectangle? Perimeter is given by 2 into length plus width, or you can simply add length plus width plus width. So perimeter, we first get perimeter. Perimeter is equivalent to, so 2 into the length. So let me use bigger brackets here. The length, which is 2x plus 4, plus the width. The width is x subtract 2, like that. So this will give 2. So you add 2x plus 4 plus x subtract 2. And this will give 2x plus x, that is 3x. Then 4 minus 2, that will be plus 2. So you get this one as 6x plus 4. That is the perimeter. Now, given that this perimeter 6x plus 4 should be less than 40. Should be less than 40. So you're supposed to form a linear inequality to represent that information, and that is the linear inequality. So let's go to part B, the last part. Let's go to the last part, part B. So for x in the inequality, so how do we solve these? So to solve these, you simply take that inequality take that inequality and then you solve it. The normal way you solve any equation, so you first eliminate positive 4 by simply subtracting 4 from both ends. So when you subtract 4 from both sides, you get this 40, subtract that 4, you get that 6. Then divide both sides by 6. Divide this side by 6 and this by 6. You get x is less than 6. And you're supposed to leave it like that. So x is less than 6. So that is how you're supposed to do that. So we continue with the next question. The next question is question 25. Question 25 is the next. Question 25 is here. So on the diagram below, the line whose equation is 2y plus 3x is equals to 12 passes through the points A and B. Determine the coordinates of point A and B. 3 marks. A very good question. So you're given the equation of this line, 2y plus 3x is equals to 12, and then you're supposed to determine the coordinates of these points. Now this is what is going to help you. If this is the y-axis, and then this is the x-axis, you can see point A lies on the x-axis. We are supposed to understand that fact. This one lies on the x-axis, and therefore, for us to get the coordinates of point A, we shall get the intercept where the line cuts the x-axis and where the line cuts the y-axis. And remember this, the point at which the line cuts the x-axis, where the point, this point cuts the x-axis, what is 0 here? Which coordinate is 0? The y-coordinate is equivalent to 0. The y-coordinate is equivalent to 0. Then, at the point where it cuts the y-axis, then at this point, x-coordinate is 0. The x-coordinate is 0. So in simple terms, this question requires us to get the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So we have the x-intercept is here. This one will be given by the x-intercept. That is the point where the line cuts the x-axis. And this one will be guided by the y-intercept. So now taking the equation 2y plus 3x is equals to 12, we first get point A. Point A is at the x-intercept. So at x-intercept, y is equivalent to 0. Just substitute y is equals to 0 in this equation, and you get 0, 2 times 0, that is 0, plus 3x is equals to 12. So this one gives you what? This will give, when you divide both sides, of course you get 3x is equals to 12, and you divide both sides by 3, you get this one, x is equals to 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So therefore, the point at which this line cuts the x-axis, it cuts the x-axis at x is equals to 4. X is equals to 4. That will give us the coordinate of A. So for A, this value, the x-coordinate here will be 4, and the y-coordinate will be 0, because we said at the point where the line cuts the x-axis, the value of y, or the y-coordinate, is 0. Now let's go and get now B. How do we get B? Write the equation again here. 2y plus 3x is equals to 12. So at B, this is the y-intercept. And at y-intercept, x is 0. We wrote that there. So simply substitute x is equals to 0 in this equation, and this is what you're going to get. So you get 2y plus 3 times 0, that is 0, is equals to 12. So divide both sides by 2, you get y is equals to 12 divided by 2, 6. So that means what? That at this point, y is equals to 6. At this point, we said x is equals to 4. So y is equals to 6. So writing the coordinate, what will be x? X will be 0, and then y will be 6. So those are the coordinates of A and B. So A is given there as a 4, 0, and B is equals to 0, 6. As simple as that. So we go to the next question. The next question is question 20. Question 20. 26. So you got question 26. So question 26 is here. So question 26 is here. So Ngilu borrowed 60,000 shillings from a bank. The bank charged a simple interest at the rate of 10% per annum. She paid back the money after a period of 2 years. Find the amount she paid back, and you get 3 marks for that. Very good question on commercial arithmetic. So borrowed this amount. The amount borrowed, that is a principal. That is a principal, which is 60,000. And then the interest is 10%. That is the interest. The interest is 10%. And she paid back the money after a period of 2 years. So period, N, or time, can just indicate this one as time. Time is 2 years. Find the amount she paid back. Get the question, find the amount. So the interest here is simple interest. The bank charged a simple interest, not compound, but simple interest. So interest, simple interest formula is like this. Interest is obtained by principal times rate times time. That is how we get simple interest. So we first get the interest. Interest to be given by, that is, we get interest after 2 years. What amount of interest will this person get? So principal, which is 60,000, times the rate, which is 10%, times the time, which is 2 years. So this will give those 2 zeros and these 2 zeros. So we'll have this one is 12. Then we have 1, 2, 3. So this will give an interest of 12,000. An interest of 12,000. That is what you get. It's quite a big interest here. So 12,000 is the interest. Now, how do you get the amount? How do you get the amount? How do you get the amount? Amount is given by amount, because that is the amount she paid back. So you have to take the principal plus the interest, the amount paid back. So we get the amount. Now we take the principal and the interest. That is the amount that was paid back after 2 years. Principal plus the interest. So this will be 60,000 plus interest of 12,000. And this will give 72,000. This will give 72,000. So that is how you're supposed to calculate that. So we go to the next one. The next one is question 27. Question 27 is the next. So for question 27, there is a figure here we need to study very well. There's a figure here we need to study very well. So a flower pot is shaped like a frustum of a cone with a top diameter of 28 centimeters, a bottom diameter of 14 centimeters, and a height 21 centimeters as shown below. Determine the volume of the flower pot. Take pi to be 22/7. So the flower pot is in the shape of frustum, as you can see. The dotted part there is, let me decrease this one so that you can see this properly. So the dotted part is not there, but it is there to guide us, to show us that that frustum, that flower pot that is in that shape, that is from this point, this shape, you can see that shape, that is the frustum of a cone. It was obtained from a cone. So how do you get the volume of this flower pot? So when you look at that diagram, you see 2 cones. There is a bigger cone and there is a smaller cone. So for us to get the volume of the frustum, we will take, so frustum volume will be given by the volume of the big cone, subtract the volume of the smaller cone. The bigger cone is the one that has the diameter of 28. The smaller cone is the one that you can see here, the one that is dotted here, broken lines. It has a diameter of 14. So once we take the volume of the bigger cone and then we subtract the volume of the smaller one, we remain with the volume of the flower pot that is in the shape of a frustum. So how do we get the volume of a cone? The volume of a cone is given by a third pi r squared height. So what don't we have? Do we have the height of the bigger cone? Yes, it is here. Height of the bigger cone is 42. What about the height of the smaller cone? The height of the smaller cone is this height here. Is this height that is here. So we need to be very keen. This height, that is the height that we need to get. So this is the height. So we need it up to that point. So that is the height. So this is the height. We can label this as a small h. So the radius of the bigger one will be 14 centimeters. The radius of the smaller one will be 7 centimeters. So we need to get this height. We don't have that height. We don't have this height. So that is what I want us to get. And that one will simply be given by 42. You take that from this point to this point is 42. Then you subtract 21. So this one will be 21 centimeters. So volume of the bigger cone will be given by a third times pi times the radius of the bigger cone, radius squared, times the height squared, not times the height, not height squared, that is 42. That is the volume of the bigger cone. Then subtract the volume of the smaller cone, a third times 22/7 times the radius squared times the height, which is 21. So simply use a calculator for this. So you can use a calculator for this particular part. So let us work it out and see. So when you work out this one, a third times 22/7 times 14 squared times 42, this will give 8624. 8624 centimeters cubed, the volume of the bigger cone. Then the volume of the smaller cone, this is a third times 22/7 times 7 squared times the height, which is 21, that will give 1078 centimeters cubed. So once you get the difference, 8624 centimeters cubed, subtract 1078 centimeters cubed, this will give 7546 centimeters cubed. That is how you're supposed to get the volume of the flower pot. That is, you simply take the volume of the bigger cone, subtract the volume of the smaller cone. We go to the next question. The next question is question 28. Question 28. For question 28, you're required to draw a pentagon ABCDE of length 2.5 centimeters. A pentagon. So first you need to understand what is a pentagon. A pentagon is a regular polygon having 5 sides. It has 5 sides. So for you to draw these, you need to get the size of each interior angle. How do you get the size of each interior angle? You know the formula of getting the sum of the interior angle of any regular polygon is given by that. So since we know this one is a pentagon, we simply substitute n with what? N will be 5. So we get 2 times 5, that will give 10. Subtract 4, multiply by 90. So this will give 6 multiplied by 90, you get 540. So now that is the sum of the interior angles. So for you to get now the size of one angle, one interior angle, you need to simply divide 540 by the number of angles, and that is 5. So you'll take now the size of each angle. So each angle will be given by 540, you divide by 5, and this will give 108. So that means each interior angle is 108. So we just need to take a protractor ruler, and this is how you're going to start it off. So draw a line there, and remember the sides are supposed to be 2.5 centimeters. So mine will not be exactly as that, but it's good for demonstration. So with the 2.5 centimeters taken by use of your pair of compass, we shall measure the angle. Let me indicate that is the point. So with that, I can mark that is 2.5 centimeters. You can mark that point there, and then take a protractor and measure 108 degrees from there. 108 degrees. So 108 will be somewhere there. So this is 110. That is 110. So 108 will be there. So that is 108. So I measured the angle from this and from this point to this point. So you can see 10, 20 all the way to 108. So 108 is there. So now after doing that, you can simply take that measurement, the same measurement of 2.5 standing at that point, and then you mark an arc there. So on the other side again, on the other side you need to measure 108. Measure 108 from that side again. So from this point, so 108 will be, this is it will be there. So 108. So I've measured the angle now from this point. This is 108. So 10, 20, 30, 110, 108 is there. So after that, you take the measurement, the same measurement standing at that point, and then mark that mark using measurement of 2.5. Don't forget that. Now after doing that, we are remaining with only this side now. For this side, you have to place your protractor like this. Make sure that it lies on that straight line, like that, like that, like that. So 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 110. So 110, 108 will be there. That is where we have 108. So measure the angle from this point to this point. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you can see up to 110, 108 is there. So that is from that side. And then don't forget to take that measurement of 2.5. You have taken it using your pair of compass. Then you mark there. So automatically the other one will just come in. So you don't need to measure the other one. The other one, you're only remaining with these 2 points. So you just need to join this one to that. As simple as that. So now you realize that all these angles that are here, all these angles, this is 108 degrees. This is 108 degrees. This one is 108 degrees. Then this one is 108 degrees. And also this one will be 108 degrees. So all these sides are equal and all of them are 2.5 centimeters. So that is how you're supposed to work out that part. So we can go to the next question, which is the last one. This is question 29. Question 29. So for question 29, a basket contains balls numbered from 30 to 40. A student randomly picks one ball. Find the probability that the number on the ball is 1, a prime number. A prime number. So what is a prime number? A prime number is any number that has only two factors, can only be divided completely by two factors, 1 and itself. So that is a prime number. So we can list these numbers from 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Now, after listing them, let us find the prime numbers, numbers that can only be divided by only 1 and itself. That is 1. That 1 is 1 prime number. That is 1. And then we have 32 no, 33 no, 34 no, 35 no, 36 no, 37 is the next, 38 no, 39 no, 40 no. So we have only 2. So those 2, these are the only numbers that have two divisors or two factors. That is 1 and itself. 32 has many, like for instance, can be divided by 8 completely, by 4 completely, by 1 completely. So you can see all the others don't satisfy the condition for them to be prime number. So those are the prime numbers. So a multiple of 4, a multiple of 4, multiples of 4. What do you mean by multiples of 4? These are numbers that can, in other words, simplest terms, they can be divided completely without leaving any remainder by 4. Or they are numbers that you obtain after taking a certain number and you multiply it by 4. For example, we have 32 is 1. 32 is a multiple of 4 because you take 4 and then you multiply by 8. So any number that you use, you take 4 and multiply that number, you get a multiple of 4. So the first multiple of 4 is 4. When 4 times 4, there is a 16. We have all these. We have 64 and others. All these, when you divide by 4, they are divided completely without leaving any remainder. So 32 is 1. The other one that I can see here is 36. You see 36? You can divide 36 by 4 and you get 9. So how do you get 36? 4 multiplied by 9. You can see it's a multiple of 4. You get it by taking 4 and then you multiply by a certain number. That is 4 times 9. You get 36. So it is a multiple of 4. Then the next one is 40. 40 is also a multiple of 4. How do you get 40? 40 times 10. So you can see for the 3 of them, 32, you take 4 multiplied by 8. For 36, you take 4 multiplied by 9. For 44, multiplied by 10. So they are multiples of 4. They can be divided by 4 completely without leaving any remainder. So we have 32, 36, and 40. So that is all about the paper. I think that was the last question for that. We don't have any other question. And that is how you're supposed to work out the section 1 and 2. We continue revising. I wish you the best as you prepare for your forthcoming examinations.